Guys, why are you looking for your future wife at a club? You're telling me that you're gonna walk into a club and be like, yep, that's the girl with the beer in her hand, walking sideways, eyes rolled backwards and twerking on the dance floor. Yep, that's the one. The epitome of class. The future mother of my children. There she is. Like, seriously. What are you expecting to see other than the bottom of the damn barrel at a club? If anything, men and women that go to a club should be the prime example of who not to date. Personally, I prefer somebody with a healthier liver, but maybe that's just a me thing. Dog parks, run clubs, Trader Joe's, traveling, hanging out with your guy friends, coffee shops, and even online dates are a much better use of your time than dark, grimy, depressing clubs.
What the hell are you talking about? Who are you talking to?
You know what? I got nothing. I have absolutely no idea what or who this lady is talking about. Who in the hell goes to clubs in hopes of finding a wife? I mean, don't get me wrong, you can find a lot of stuff at a club, like overpriced drinks, hearing loss, and the chance to contract multiple cases of VD, but I have yet to meet a single man who openly goes to a club to meet a woman with the intention of marrying her. Let's just look at this logically for a second. It's a known fact that we know the kind of women who go to these clubs in their 20s are the exact same kind of women who start going to church in their 30s. They're about as worthy of marriage then as they are now, and your average man knows this, so this just begs the question, where in the hell are you getting this information, woman? It sounds to me like you're just blindly guessing this is a mentality that average men have. The kind of men who are legitimately looking for women to marry aren't exactly the kind of caliber of men that are even allowed in these clubs in the first place. So that leads me to believe that you just think Chad is going to clubs to try to find a wife, which just begs the question, just exactly how brain damaged are you?
You blew it. Capiche?
Where are the men? What happened? And I'm so sorry to say this. No, I really am. But I am gonna say it. What happened? Yeah. I mean, and I don't know who's to blame, but I just feel like men don't want to be men anymore. I don't know if it's the city we're living in, but I feel like we're around a bunch of Peter Pan. I'm like, what happened to men and values and family and taking care of their women and just being the man and the protector? I mean,
I agree.
You know, and
I quit. I quit. I quit.
Oh, that's an easy one to answer. What happened was we all went to Skeeter's house. You see, instead of wasting our time and allowing ourselves to be degraded by modern women with an overinflated sense of superiority, we decided our time would be better spent helping Skeeter create the ultimate tree fort. So get this, Skeeter knows a guy who knows a lumber wholesaler who owed Skeeter a favor, so we got all of this pressure-treated, high-quality lumber for like next to nothing. Now, we were originally considering building up a barn that would double as a Nerf blaster armory, but we unanimously decided that the world needs more tree forts, so we all went to work. All of the manly, confident, self-respecting men worked together to create this thing would make the peasants of Sherwood Forest jealous. And Skeeter's the kind of guy who's always thinking ahead, you know? We built a poker room up there with fire poles for an easy escape, and instead of having one big Nerf armory, we got like 6 of them across 4 different trees, and we would invite you, but we have a strict no skirts allowed policy. I'm sure you understand, and if you don't, I really couldn't care less.
Well, it's this whole thing of everybody, it's like both genders trying to like be the same thing and trying to one-up each other, and we've kind of both done it to each other. Like, women have stepped up being like, no, I don't want to be, I'm independent and I don't want to be taken care of and don't do that and don't tell me what to do and all that stuff. Yeah. And then men have been like, okay, well then
exactly.
How about you pay the bill?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So we've both done it to each other. Like, we're all to blame.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And women saying, oh, I don't need a man. I don't need a man for nothing. Yes, we do.
I say it all the time.
Of course we need men.
We need each other.
Of course we need, exactly, we need each other.
Yeah.
Nice try.
Never underestimate a modern woman's ability to figure out a way to blame men even when she's saying she's not. Men got tired of being needlessly treated like second-class citizens for pointless reasons. It came to the point that no matter what we do, we're not only wrong, we're also stupid, oafish, diabolical, clumsy, childish, or whatever. Well, guess what, poopy butt? Men got tired of it. So instead of complaining about it and wondering where all the good women went, we just decided to walk away and let it all crumble. Instead of making compromises for broads like you, we decided to embrace our masculinity and live our lives the way we see fit. We've decided to go out there, improve ourselves, and have some fun, because we're men, and men know how to have fun, and modern women don't. If we want to hang out in tree houses and shoot each other with Nerf blaster while Skeeter uses his contacts at the local municipalities to forego certain zoning licenses, then that's our business. We've been working our asses off, sweetheart, and we've earned some fun time. You've had your shot, and it was a shot that you completely blundered.
See you later!
Baby, learn this, and I promise you, this is the difference between why some women are getting queen treatment, princess treatment, treated the very best by men, versus the women that are getting bare minimum treatment. I wish they taught this in schools, and I wish I had known this earlier myself, because trust me, this is going to save you so much time, so much energy, and it's going to place your value so high that you are only going to receive the best in life. Whether that is from men, or friendships, or opportunities, or career, you're only setting yourself up to receive the very best. The girl that gets princess treatment, the girl that gets queen treatment, knows her worth. And not only does she know her worth, she does not settle for anything that compromises her worth.
That is without a doubt the dumbest thing I've ever heard.
Here's a question. How exactly does one measure the worth and value of a modern woman? Is there some kind of a scale? Is there some kind of a chart or average baseline to determine her actual market value? Because when I imagine a woman's value, I imagine a massive bureaucratic building that contains nothing but offices of women who are going over endless forms and entering data into a computer that'll actually calculate the worth of a modern woman. And these office drones are so old and bitter and lonely that they'll purposefully fudge numbers, fabricate evidence, and do everything they can to hyperinflate the egos of these broads who submit the information. And when their assessments are sent back to these women, they immediately think they're so great that the world will collapse without them. Now, I know this sounds like an over-exaggeration, but I also find it kind of unsettling that this could be a thing. As men, we must never underestimate the power of the bitter old hag, as she wishes to wreak nothing but havoc on the planet. Because misery loves company, and a used-up old broad who got tricked by modern feminism is some of the most miserable people of the bunch. Luckily, these numbers only affect women. Men will never fall victim to such a bureaucracy. We know better than to waste our time with endless scrolls of paperwork. We know our time is more valuable than the modern woman places on herself, but I just assumed this was a given.
You know that. Of course I do, sir. Everybody knows that.
Of course we do, sir!
What was that? You want to make lemonade? Oh, let me just get some fresh lemons from our lemon tree. It's fighting me. This lemon doesn't want to be recorded. I won that. Just fresh lemons from a fucking lemon tree. I will never get over this.
Congratulations!
Well, this is pure gold right here. We got ourselves a lemon of a woman fighting with a lemon who doesn't want to be associated with a fellow lemon. Hell, you know what? Neither do I. The only lemons I give a damn about is the lemon known as Fled, one of the best movies around. I mean, it's got Stephen Baldwin playing an elite hacker and a pre-Matrix Lawrence Fishburne giving next to no effort and still showing more acting talent than most of your modern Netflix stars. That right there is good enough, especially when you consider that Stephen is only the dumbest looking of all the Baldwin brothers. Even though Stephen's character acts like he's an idiot when it comes to gun safety in this flick, I still think it's safe to assume he's the smartest of all the brothers, even though that probably isn't saying much. And as for the icing on the cake, it's also got Salma Hayek. And not just any Salma Hayek, we're talking mid-90s Salma Hayek, who's not only hot in almost everything she does, but you can't help but love her because she's just so damn charming, you can't help but love her. Fled isn't the greatest movie ever made. It won no awards and it's mostly forgotten by time itself. But if you ask me, that's just one of the many reasons why Fled is one of the best movies around.
I'm gonna hold your hand while I say this. You're working in an office, that is one job. That is one job. If you are staying home, that is multiple jobs that you are fulfilling on a constant basis. You get to go to work in an office. I want to be clear here, in an office, because a lot of men will come in my comment section and say men's jobs are more laborious. Men's jobs are harder. They typically work in harder fields than women do. We're talking about an office because this is what this man said. You get to sit down in your little office and you do one job.
Wrong!
Well, looks like we caught middle-aged Mabel on a better day because she's only mostly angry. And you can tell that she has never worked in an office a day in her life. Because if you ask any man who's ever worked in an office, and he'll tell you that working in an office is kind of a form of pure hell. You see, office work by default is thankless, mind-numbing, and profoundly laborious. You ask any man who's ever worked in a female-dominated office and he'll tell you it's way more work than you could ever possibly comprehend. Outside of having to dodge the unwanted advances of your middle-aged coworkers, you're also watched like a hawk from the HR department as your female supervisors will treat you like dirt. There are countless stories of men who work in these offices who were victims of sexism and assault from other coworkers, and HR did nothing about it. And when you add the mentally exhausting labor that an office forces you to commit, it's an incredibly exhausting experience. Kind of like having to listen to middle-aged Mabel as she openly and bitterly resents the entire planet around her because she failed at life by her own choices. And it takes a special kind of mental fortitude to deal with that kind of mess.
You get to socialize with other adults. You get to have a break for lunch. You get to talk to other people. You get to pee in peace. When you're home with your children, day in and day out, you have a multitude of responsibilities. You are chauffeur, you are entertainer, you are cook, you are cleaner, you are launderer. You have a multitude of jobs. Not only that, but you are now carrying the emotional responsibility of those children.
Wrong! That's wrong!
Mabel, what you are outside of a soulless hag is a stay-at-home mom. That is your job. And all of those jobs that you described are part of the job description. A stay-at-home mom watches the kids, cooks, cleans, and takes care of the home. That is the job. It's not a whole bunch of little ones. But with that being said, Mabel, I do have a question. What exactly are you doing all day? Now, if you are truly so busy to the point where you don't even have the time to take a leak or eat a sandwich at noon, then why are you taking precious time out of your workday to film yourself condemning a random commenter on TikTok? This isn't 1774, Mabel. You're not laboring all day to protect the homestead out in the frontier. You have every single modern convenience: electricity, a dishwasher, laundry machines, vacuum cleaners, the internet, and all the other things that make your life significantly easier. And if you ask the average stay-at-home dad, he utilizes these things with such efficiency that he has plenty of time to relax and watch the kids during the day. So if it's taking you twice as much time to do all of these same jobs as a man, then you really must suck at being a stay-at-home mom. And you're probably gonna get written up at your next performance review. Just giving you fair warning.
You are also in charge of emotionally regulating them, which can be one of the most daunting tasks. It's very cortisol raising and it's not healthy when you don't have support. You getting to go to the office and work one measly job with a commute there and a commute home, which is quiet and at peace. And she is at home working multiple jobs, constant chaos every day. No, that's not equal and it's not fair.
Go, girl! You get it, girl! You hear that? You got it, girl!
Now, what's this? Hath hell frozen over? I find myself actually agreeing with middle-aged Mabel for once. You're right, Mabel. You're absolutely right. You bitter excuse for a human failure. It is most certainly not fair. A man works hard for his family to provide for you and the kids. His office job puts a strain on his mental load, and he has to deal with the bumper-to-bumper traffic both to and from work. He's exhausted and he wants to rest when he gets home, but he knows that there's more that needs to get done. And he wants to spend time with the kids and get some work done around the house and maybe get a few hours of sleep before waking up and doing it all over again without complaint. Because deep in his soul, that is his job. And he does it without complaint every day. You, on the other hand, don't have to leave the house for work. You're married to a man who makes enough money to support you and the kids, so you're not forced to work a job you loathe or pay taxes to a government who's going to use it to subjugate you to a life of indentured servitude. You get to spend as much time as humanly possible with your children while their father sacrifices his to make sure they have a better life. He loves you, and he cares for you, and he wants to make sure that you have everything that you want and need. And in return, all you do is bitch and moan about how his life is so much easier than yours, and refusing to respect the fact that he is sacrificing his mind, body, and spirit to ensure your comfort. Only for you to turn around and complain that your life is harder because you have to push 3 buttons and throw a potato in the oven. You're absolutely right, middle-aged Mabel. That's not equal, and that's not fair. That man deserves better than to grow old with you. And that's gonna do it for today's video, gentlemen and gents, and as always, if you find that my particular brand of comedy is bringing you to the brink of laughter, then why don't you scroll on down and click that like and subscribe button, maybe ring the notification bell, possibly leave a couple of comments, and share this video so we can give the good old-fashioned middle finger to the YouTube algorithm. Thank you so much for checking out the new video, and until next time, peace out, homies.